Hello everyone, to two cricket questions. My name is Rasesh. The Indian Premier League will start in 2 weeks' time, and there's a good chance that to start with, we'll see no crowds. There's some talk that there will be some crowds, 30% crowds in the later of the tournament, but again, that depends upon the health situation in UAE. Perhaps we'll see crowds in the playoffs, we don't know. There's a big question mark over it. So our first cricket question, do crowds matter in IPL? Now it's a question that a lot of you have asked, whether it makes any sense at all to stage the IPL when there will be nobody watching it inside the stadium. It's a question that occurred to me as well before I joined the profession. Myself, for example, I stay in Mumbai, so I spent 2,500 rupees ticket to be a part of Wankhede Stadium to watch MI play RCB. How much do those 2,500 matter to the IPL system? If you look at it just numerical point of view, not so much. This is how. Now the 8 franchisees, typically let's divide them for better understanding in 2 sets. The more popular ones, MI, CSK, RCB, KKR, and then the other franchisees which do not make as much money from gate receipts. And the more popular ones are always packed to capacity. The Wankhede Stadium is always packed, Eden Gardens is always packed, Chinnaswamy is always, people are wanting to buy tickets, they can't get them. But it's different for some of the other franchises. The more popular ones on an average make about 30 to 40 crore rupees every year from the IPL, just that. So the more popular tickets, the hospitality tickets, the lesser price tickets, combine all of that, the 7 home matches, taking into account all of that, still it adds up to only 30 to 40 crore rupees of revenue that these franchisees make. Now the likes of the other set of franchisees, for example, the Kings 11 Punjab, Sunrisers Hyderabad, even to a degree Delhi Capitals, these franchisees, they don't get as much ticket sales because the tickets are a little less expensive. Also their home matches are spread out because sometimes Kings 11 goes to Dharamshala, sometimes an RR goes to Guwahati, so all of those dynamics are brought into play as well. So their total gate receipts only account for about 15 to 25 crore rupees. So if you combine the total gate receipt revenue that all the franchisees make, that comes down to about 200 to 250 crore every year. That's it. So how is it the franchisees make money? They make money out of sponsorships. Now you look at all the crowded jerseys of all the franchisees, there's a sponsor here, a sponsor in the non-leading arm, the leading arm, there's a sponsor on the cap. All of those sponsors come together and give the 8 franchisees a total earning of about 500 crore rupees. So again, that is unequal distribution because the more popular franchisees will have more sponsorship revenue, some will earn less. But if you average that out, it's about 60 crore rupee that each franchisees make out of the sponsorship money. So 60 out of that, about 25 average out of the gate receipts. But that's not all. There's a certain corpus called the IPL revenue pool. And now after doing the maths, I'll give you the numbers. The total money that the BCCI makes, the income minus all the expenditure that it has to incur, then the profit share that it will keep for itself, then the total money that is left to distribute it, the profit that is left to be distributed amongst the 8 franchisees, that still comes down to 1,200 crore rupees every year as per the current revenue model. So each franchise stands to gain about 150 crore profit, obviously taking into account the gate receipts and sponsorships as well. So it's that IPL revenue pool is the reason why these franchisees want to stay invested in the IPL, and that is why they want the IPL to happen this year in UAE, because even minus crowds, even minus ticket sales, they stand to gain more than 100 crore rupees of profit out of this edition of the IPL in the middle of a pandemic. So the simple answer to the question, do crowds matter? Not so much, because those 25 odd crores come down to 20% of the 150 crore profit that the franchisees will make. But they do matter. They matter because the 2,500 rupees that I'm going to spend to be a part of Wankhede is going to be a part of the 30,000 people who will making the noise, the atmospherics for the cameras, the entire atmosphere, the sort of pumped up cricketers that you see because of the crowd factor. All of that will be missing this year. Imagine a Shah Rukh Khan, the most popular actor in the country today, is investing in a Rinku Singh, a cricketer from modest background from UP, who is left to score 2 runs of the final delivery. Jasprit Bumrah is running into bowl. Bumrah fails, Rinku scores. Shah Rukh is ecstatic. It is captured by the cameras. That is narrated by the commentators to us back home. That is the IPL atmosphere. That atmosphere is something that we will be missing this time around. Remember what happened between Kieron Pollard and Mitchell Starc in that MI-RCB match a few years ago? The two giants were on a heads-on confrontation. almost coming to blows, and then the atmosphere, and when Stark ran into Bolt, the next delivery to Pollard, that sort of drama that was created with the presence of the crowds is something that will be missing this year. And believe you me, if there will be no crowds in tournaments after tournaments, then the valuation comes down as well. The property goes down. Then the broadcasters don't want to pull in the same sort of money, because there is that external crowd force, the atmospherics that is missing. And let's hope that the virus recedes soon, because we need crowds in live sport, without which sport is incomplete. So it will be an incomplete IPL in that sense, because the crowds do matter. Looking at the other factor, the intangible, the invaluable atmospherics factor, but we'll take what comes at the moment, because the IPL is being staged. And like I said, just looking at from the shrill numbers point of view as well, the franchisees do still stand to make a cool profit of 100 crore plus if the IPL is held minus crowds. Our second cricket question pertains to perhaps the most loved cricketer of our times, Lasith Malinga. Have we seen the last of Malinga in IPL? One hopes not, but it could well be the case. But he's had quite a ride in IPL over the years. One of those rare one franchise cricketers, always been with Mumbai Indians. And if you look at his price curve, it's sort of gone up gradually. He started off with 1.5 crore, then went up to 9.5 crores in 2014. And then it slowly began to go down as injuries became a stumbling block. He grew older, but he's always been invaluable. In the last edition of the IPL, when he was 36 years old, Rohit Sharma turned to Lasith Malinga to bowl the final over. He won them the final. He also played crucial roles in the 2013 and 15 victories of the IPL for Mumbai Indians. But he's had his share of setbacks as well. 2016, when he missed an IPL because of injury. 2018, going unsold, roped in by Mumbai Indians as a mentor, and he played a part in the evolution and some of the finer details that Jasprit Bumrah may have learnt over the years as well. I went to interview him in Sri Lanka, and it was supposed to be a video interview, and it ended up being a 2.5 minute interview. He spoke very little English. He spoke very little, so he wouldn't be on your wish list if you want to do a video interview, but who cares? He knows to bowl and how. I also went to his hometown in Rathagama in Sri Lanka. It's a quiet little place with a lake nearby, and the story goes that he sort of developed this round arm action because he did a lot of swimming, but that may just well be one of those legends. But quite a character. If you ask me to name 3 cricketers overseas in IPL history, the most popular ones, it would be perhaps AB de Villiers, Kieron Pollard and Lasith Malinga. Do keep watching, send in your comments, stay tuned.